I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you need to develop into a better leader, this podcast is for you. If you want to achieve a greater level of success, this podcast is for you. His mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell, said it best: everything rises and falls on leadership. We hope to inspire you today and provide you with an insight that has the potential to positively impact the trajectory of your life. Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast.
Hello, everyone. This is Bob Zinga. Thank you so much for being here today. So first of all, if you would please let me know where you are calling from, okay? Where are you coming from? If you can add it to the chat, I really do appreciate that. And let me know your city, state, or country if you are outside of the United States. Today is not going to be very long. I just want to talk a little bit about self-determination, self-encouragement, and never giving up. I have a couple of things to share just to encourage those of you who follow me on LinkedIn and who listen to this podcast, right? Because life really is not easy, okay? It's not easy to be a human being. Life is tough, and I believe it's really tough for a lot of people. And I believe what makes somebody successful is not really what happens to them, because what happens to anyone happens to us all in some way or some fashion, but it's really how you respond to it, right? So I think we really have to focus on our response. And I think for too many of us, we pretty much automatically react to things that happens. And I want us to take a pause to think, what is the best version of myself I need to bring forward? How do I need to respond to this? What is the right way to handle this situation? And I think if you do that, you are going to be glad about the impact of the decision you will make. Again, if you would please add in the comments where you are watching from. So I'm going to type, where are you watching from? I see about half a dozen of you there. I really do appreciate that. I really like to... hold on a second. Okay, I really like when I speak for things to be interactive, right? Speak to the audience, and then the audience speaks back to me. But of course, when you do it this way, that is not always possible. So I want to hear back from you. Okay, thank you so much. I see Andre calling from Toronto. I believe that's Canada. And Mark Victor from San Jose. Thank you so much, Mark. I'm very glad to see you. And of course, if you have a question for me through all of this, please don't hesitate to let me know, and I'm going to try to answer some of your questions as we go through this. Again, I really hope this is a blessing to you. So the episode today, right? Determination, self-encouragement, and never giving up. So I believe it is imperative for each and every one of us to actually have a pretty good vision of ourselves, who we are and where we want to go, where we are going, right? Because like I said earlier, life is going to be tough, but I think if you know exactly who you are and where you want to go, you are going to be able to stand through the adversity of life, because you know where you are and where you want to be, right? I've heard many stories of people who've gone through very, very tragic things, wars, and even in Germany, right, during World War II, the Holocaust. Stories I've read for the people who went through that horrific horrendous experience, but who made it through. They didn't die. They actually came on the other side, I believe, stronger than they were prior to going through that. Is they had an idea, even in the military, right? I am in the Navy Reserve. When you are a prisoner of war, those people who survive that experience, many of them, they have a picture in their mind of something they want to do, someone they want to see. I have a loved one. I have a wife. I have a child I want to see. So I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to die. I am going to see them no matter what. So even when they are exhausted, they don't know what to do. They are tired. They feel like they cannot go any more. But because of what they want to see in the future, because of their vision, it's like propelling them into the future and giving them just that extra strength of energy to just do it one more time, to just stand for 1 hour minute, and then that turns into an hour, and then into a day, and then into weeks and months, and then years. So there is that vision that is compelling, that is already bringing you into surviving whatever you are going through in order for you to accomplish it. I hope that makes sense, what I am saying. Right? You have to be determined. And when I say determined, is you really make up your mind, this is it, right? I am fully committed to this. Another example we usually use in Silicon Valley is the difference, right, between a pig and a chicken, right? When it comes to breakfast, you're going to have ham and cheese. Well, the chicken is not really committed, right? All the chicken has to do is give you an egg, right? You get the egg from the chicken, and then you can cook your breakfast, and the chicken is still alive, happy, dancing, or whatever. And tomorrow, the chicken will give you another egg. But if you want, sausage, the pig has to be fully committed to that meal. The pig is going to die, right? So, in many ways, I feel like when you have a goal, when you have a vision, you absolutely have to be committed to your goal in order for it to become reality. If you are kind of casual about it, no, maybe not, qui sera, sera, whatever will be, I can promise you are not going to be able to accomplish it, right? But if you are fully committed, this is absolutely what I want to do, and I'm committed to it, and I believe you are going to increase your chances of being successful. Okay, so determination, being determined. No matter what, this is what I want. I'm going to go after it with everything I've got, and I'm going to be successful. So I think it's really a mindset, right? You have to be determined. And throughout my life, I've gone through a lot of difficult times, and many times it's just that faith, knowing, okay, I know why I am alive. I know what I'm supposed to do, and whatever I'm going through now, it is not going to kill me, right? It is just going to make me stronger because I'm going to go all the way to the other side. Determination, very important. Determination. You've got to know, you have to be very clear about what you want. So you need to ask yourself a question, what do I want? And for about more than a dozen people now watching me, can you type in the comment some of the things that you want to accomplish in your life? Again, this is your life. It's not the life of your spouse or your parents or your teachers. It's your life. What do you want out of life? What do you want to accomplish? If you can type some of the main things you would like to accomplish, and then you have to remember that when hard times comes. Thank you so much, Carlos Everfield from Stafford, Virginia. So, important again to have a clear vision of what you want to do and why you want to do it. This way, when the hard time comes, you are going to remember, this is why I want to do it. Therefore, I'm going to stand even for just one more minute because I really want to accomplish this. Now, also understand recently in Silicon Valley, I think they said more than 200,000 people also in high-tech company have been furloughed or laid off. So many people have lost their jobs, and it's very tough out there. And sometimes what is very difficult now, you may be extremely qualified, have great education, experience, and certification, and all of that, but it's just tough to get a job. Like you apply for jobs that you overqualify for, but they won't even call you for an interview. And that can really break your spirit after a while, right? But again, having that determination, no, I am going to find my job. I'm not going to settle for anything else. I think that is going to help take you a very long way. So the second part of what I wanted to talk about today is self-encouragement. It is so wonderful. Really, it's a huge blessing when you have people in your life, friends, close ones, family members who encourage you, who love you, and who are by your side no matter what. Even if you don't have anybody, if you have a dog, right? Dog would love you just at the drop of a hat. If you have someone out there who cares about you, I think you are really, truly, truly, truly blessed. But there are times where people are not going to be around, right, to encourage you. You are going to have to encourage yourself. Encourage yourself. Now, there is a verse in the Bible I love. Again, this is not religious at all, but I want to mention this because this touched me a lot. In 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6. This is David and his men. They were out, and then his enemies came and they completely destroyed all of his things, all of the properties. They took away the women and the children. And you have to understand, he was extremely, extremely distressed during this time. Not just him, but his valiant men too. So in 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6, just as an example, the Bible says, David was greatly distressed. Now, how would you feel if you've completely lost everything you got, everything gone, including your spouse and your children? And then for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved. So everybody lost everything they got, including their family, because David was the leader of his people. They wanted somebody to blame. But then the Bible says, because the soul of all of the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters, but David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. That is so powerful to me. Sometimes you do have to encourage yourself. Nobody is going to encourage you. I must tell you, I believe in you. I think you can do it, whatever you set your mind to, but you have to believe in yourself. And when things get tough, and they will, you need to find a way to encourage yourself. When your mother is no longer around, when your father is no longer around, your mentors or your spouse or your children, and you are all alone by yourself, right, in the valley of the shadow of death, you need to find it in yourself to encourage yourself to keep going forward. That's not easy to do, but I believe it is necessary, right? You have to be determined, so determination, know exactly what you want and know why you want it, and make up your mind that you are going to be committed to whatever that vision and that goal is. Go after it with everything you've got. Because even if you fail, right, at least you've tried. One thing I don't want to happen in my life is, by the time I am 70, 80, 90 years old, and say, oh man, I just wish I had done this and that. I wish I had started this business idea I had. I wish I had asked this woman to be my wife. I wish I had gone to school. I wish I had earned a degree, a master's degree or a doctorate. I wish. No. That's not how I want to live my life. I want 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, I want to say, I am so glad I did, right? Even if I tried and failed, at least I know, okay, I've given it my best shot, than not to try at all. So be clear about what you want, be determined to accomplish it no matter what, and then when hard times comes, it's really great if you have a group of people you can rely on, people who really love you, not because of what you have, but just because of who you are. If you have a handful of people like that in your life, I think you are extremely, extremely blessed, and those people are really going to build you up. But if you don't, be prepared and ready to encourage yourself. That is so critical, right? And then the last thing I am going to talk about is to never, 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 never give up. Don't give up on your idea. Don't give up on your dream. You are not alone. There are people out there who really believe in you and who want to encourage you. And there are some people also, I believe, who are waiting on you to accomplish whatever you are going to accomplish, to realize whatever you are going to realize, so that they also can fulfill their destiny. So you are not alone. Don't give up. I really love the speech by Winston Churchill, right? It says, never, 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 never give up. You've got to find that in you. Don't give up. Be determined. Encourage yourself, and don't give up. So I'm gonna wait for just a minute. Based on everything I have said, do you guys have any questions? If you do, can you please type it in the LinkedIn comment? And you can also share some of the ideas you have about what you want to accomplish. So just wanted to be an encouragement to you today. Looking back over my life, there are a couple of things that really come to mind. Actually, three things that come to mind of what really seemed impossible to me at the time. Right, I was 17 years old when I came to the United States, and I left my parents, everything I knew, everything I had to come to a country I have never been, and trying to survive here and go to school, have a degree, a great education. And life, the first year I was here was pretty easy, right? My mother paid for the entirety of the first year of school. But then, that was like in 97, the Civil War broke out in my home country. And I literally didn't have 2 pennies to rub. I didn't have any money, and I didn't know I was going to pay for school. Back then my GPA was 4.0, so I had a perfect GPA. But not being a U.S. citizen or even having a green card, being a permanent resident, there really was no scholarship for me, none. It was very, very dark, and many times I just thought, okay, maybe I just need to get on a plane somehow and just go back home without my degree, without finishing my school. Maybe this school thing is really not for me, because I already felt like I've given it everything I had, and I did very, very well. I had A's in all of my classes, and back then I was taking like 17, 19, 21 hours, credit hours per semester. So I was very, very busy and very serious about my studies, but it looks like, my back was against the wall and there was no way forward. And I've been in that situation a couple of times in my life. So then you have to make a decision. Do I give up now, or do I find a way to continue? So what I'm talking to you about determination is not just something I read in a book, and you can see behind me, I have a whole bunch of books. I probably read more than 3,000 books by now. I read a whole lot, but this is something I have lived, something I have experienced myself. What do you do when you come at a fork in the road where you have to make a decision? Do I continue doing what I'm doing? Do I continue going after my dream, or do I just count my losses and stop? And what I'm telling you is, if you are determined, if you have a clear vision of the future, you cannot give up. And you have to encourage yourself to keep going forward, right? I believe that there is going to be a way. And in many ways, I believe that's really a master key to success. I think the mindset that there's got to be a way. If there is a problem, it means that there is a solution as well. So I just have to find out what that solution is. There's got to be a way to go from where I am now to where I want to be. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a solution. So if I have an obstacle, I either have to go through it, under it, above it, I have to blow it out of existence, or jump over it. But there is a way for me to go from point A to point B to get to the other side. There is a way. So that is a mindset. And that's the mindset you need to have. Determine, encourage yourself, and never giving up. And I believe many times, though, you may not have the resources, and you think resources, money, things are going to solve your problem, but I will suggest to you that's probably not the case, right? I think it's not the resources, but it's being resourceful. Being resourceful in such a way that you are going to attract those resources in order for you to do what your purpose is, what you are supposed to do. The people are going to see you. They're going to see your hunger. They're going to see your work ethic. They're going to see your character, and they're going to come to you and help you achieve what you are trying to achieve. I really do believe that. So you don't always have to have resources, but you do have to be resourceful. And I believe a way is going to open up. A door will open up in front of you, so you can at least go one step ahead. You may not know exactly how to go from point A to point B, how to walk 500 miles, but you're going to know how to take the next steps, what you need to do. And as you take that next step, and I believe the world will open up to you and going to help you forge a path forward through strife, through obstacle, you are going to forge your own path to the other side. Does that make sense to anybody here? So that's really the mindset you do have to have, knowing that there is a solution and you are going to find out what that solution is. You are going to discover it. You are going to, no matter what, go through hell and hot waters in order to get to where you are supposed to be. You are going to end up in your promised land. So another thing in my life that was pretty major. Recently, I wrote a post about this. In '97, I kind of got into IT. It was almost by chance. Originally, I really wanted to become a medical doctor, so I studied science. I was pre-med. I did biology and chemistry, and I almost got a PhD in microbiology as well. So I met all of the qualification, all of the requirement except for the final dissertation. But anyway, so I've been in the tech field for more than 26 years now. And from the very beginning, I was like, okay, one day I would like to become a senior executive in this field. So how do you do it? You have to start by getting some experience. Start wherever you are. In my case, it was being a computer tech, and then I started learning about networking and systems and software and managing servers and so forth. And then I became a director of IT. And my goal, I want to become a manager. And the first time I became manager was in 2001, 2002. The very first mentor I really had, this man changed my life. I went to him, I said, okay, would you please teach me how to become a manager? You are my director. I really like what you're doing. One day I would like to have a job similar to yours. So he was very firm. It wasn't easy, but he was a fair guy, and he really helped me learn all of the skills I needed to learn in order to be a better leader and be able to manage projects and lead people. That's kind of where that started for me. That was, I think, 2001. And then throughout my career, I've met so many other people who have helped me. Some of them I don't even remember what their names are, but they've really had a huge impact on my life. But I always had that vision, that dream, that yes, one day I want to be a senior executive in the technology industry, right? So I eventually became a manager. Now I'm thinking manager, senior manager, director, senior director, and then vice president, senior vice president, and then a C-level executive, right? CIO or CISO, Chief Information Officer or Chief Information Security Officer. That has always been burning in me. And in 2010, I really had a chance of a lifetime. At the time, I was living in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And this crazy Californian, they made me an offer I just could not say no to. More than double my salary, and they gave me an opportunity to really come to California, Monterey, and lead the cyber security function for the Defense Language Institute. They really loved that I was in Iron Head, University of Alabama, but I also was in the Navy. At the time, I was a lieutenant, information professional officer in the U.S. Navy Reserve. So I came to California, like they say, right? The rest is history. So basically, I was the most senior executive for the cybersecurity function at DLI, and I've been doing that, since then for maybe a dozen or so Silicon Valley company. But I've been again a manager, a director, and head of the cybersecurity of the IT function. But what I wanted was to become a C-level executive, a Chief Information Officer or Chief Information Security Officer. That was my dream. That was what was burning in me. That's what I believe I was born to do. And I've had a lot of obstacles. Many people have said no, right? Sometimes for whatever reason, I apply for hundreds of jobs and I only get maybe a dozen interviews when I believe I qualify for each and every one of those. I have the experience, I have the education, I have the expertise and the certification. But then sometimes you get the job and for whatever reason they're going to place you as a manager like they did when I was at Groupon, or a director when I was at Triventis, or sometimes a director level job, but you are the head of IT or the head of security, which is again perfectly fine. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I was willing to pay the price and do whatever it took to eventually get to the C-level position, senior executive in the organization, chief information officer or chief information security officer. That was my goal. That was my dream. So I kept at it, and eventually, it only took me 26 years. But last week, that dream has finally been realized, and I am now the Chief Information Security Officer for Santa Clara University. So going back to higher education, where I first got my start, I spent 15 years at the University of Alabama and 3 years at the Naval Postgraduate School and Defense Language Institute Foreign Language Center, and I am back into higher ed now. So I went from higher education to the DoD, the military, the US government, to high tech, and now back to higher education with the title of Chief Information Security Officer. So I'm telling you all of this not to impress you, but really to impress upon you that once you have a vision, you have a goal, you have to hold on to it. No matter what is happening, even if everything around you looks like you are never going to get there, you have to believe in yourself. You have to encourage yourself, because if you don't see it, if you don't believe it, nobody else will. But if you do, even though things are tough right now, I promise you, you are going to be able to survive. You're going to be able to go through it, right? You're going to get through it from where you are to the other side eventually. Just don't give up. Just keep that determination. Just keep encouraging yourself and never, never, never give up. I hope that really makes sense to you, and I hope this is very helpful to you. But I really, really believe that is one of the key things in success, right? If you want to be successful, you really have to have a vision, and you have to buy into that vision, be 100% committed to it, where failure really is not an option. And I think if your mindset is set that way, it's almost impossible for you to fail. It's impossible for anyone to stop you. But if you're like, oh, I'm going to be casual about it, no, it's going to be a nice thing if it happens, whatever happen, qui sera, sera, yada, yada, then I can guarantee you are never going to achieve it. Okay? But set up your mind what you want, and go after it with everything you've got. And I believe eventually, if you don't give up, eventually, the universe, God is going to send the people and the resources that you need in order to accomplish that dream. And then when you get there, what I believe is the most important thing is you do have to give back. You have to find somebody else who's in a position where you used to be and encourage them and help them if you can to reach their goals, to accomplish their destiny. And my primary mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell, one thing he says that I really, really love, there is really a big difference between success and significance, right? When you are successful, it's really all about me, myself, and I, right? It's about me. Give me, give me, give me, give me. My name is Jimmy. It is me, 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 me. It's moi. But when you are significant, it's not about you anymore. It is about other people. And you need to be able to get there. Even on your way in you achieve, you really have to help other people around you achieve their goal as well. You have to give, right? So that you might receive also. And Dr. Maxwell says, no, once you've tested significance, success will never, ever satisfy. And I believe he is so right about that. Because when I think about my own life, I have gone through so many things, and so many people have helped me throughout my life. And some people I mentioned earlier, I don't even remember what their names are, but I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. Somebody who looked at me, right, this poor kid back when I was extremely skinny from the Congo, barely speaking English, with this funny accent, and they just had compassion on me. They just showed mercy, grace. They didn't have to do anything. I remember when I mentioned earlier at the University of Alabama in 1997, civil war broke out in my home country, the Congo. My parents could no longer send me any money, and I was there with no money, not knowing how I'm going to pay for school, how I'm going to be able to still afford the dormitory. But so many people came to my rescue. They helped me. They didn't know me. They didn't owe me anything, but they helped me. Wow. How can I repay them? I will never be able to. But the best way I can do that is for me to help somebody else. Someone who is coming up in life, and they don't have anything, but they help me. Wow. How can I repay them? I will never be able to. But the best way I can do that is for me to help somebody else. Someone who is coming up in life, and they don't have anything, but they help me. and I can give them my wisdom. I can give them my understanding. I can give them what I have learned so they can get what they are going to earn. I really hope that makes sense to you, but I believe that's one of the most important things for my life right now. I have achieved my dream. I have achieved pretty much everything I had set out to do. I wanted to become a senior level executive, in technology, and that happened this week. And when I joined the U.S. Navy back in 2004, I was a seaman recruit, right, the lowest rank in the entire military. And when I went to boot camp, um, I saw what the chief did, right? Senior enlisted folks, and I really wanted to become a chief or a senior officer, which is commander or above, O five or above. So I was an E1 at the time, but that was my dream. That was my goal. That was what I set out for myself. It didn't take a year, it didn't take 5 years, it didn't take 10 years. It took like 16 years before I realized that dream. Uh, I became a commander a couple of years back, right? We are in 2023, so that was in 2021, April. So it took me 16 years to become a commander in the US Navy, and then a year later to become a commanding officer, which is the highest job anybody can have within a command. I remember, no, 19 years ago, I was a seaman recruit taking orders from everybody, and all of the policies in the Navy were applying to me. And now I am in a position where I can actually affect the policies of the US Navy Reserve and the US Navy. It is really mind-boggling to me. Right? I only have about a year left before I am eligible to retire. So it's really not about me anymore, but it's about the next generation of leader, the next generation of sailors. That's really what my highest priority is right now. Same thing in information technology. I am a CISO now, so there's not another job out there I want. There is no job above CISO. This is it. This is the top of the ladder, right? Top of the cream. You are at the mountaintop. There is nowhere else to go. So my job is to lift up people who are coming up and allow them to achieve the same dream, have the same opportunity I had. I really hope that makes sense to you and it resonates with you. That is absolutely what you need to do. Reach out and pull people. Unfortunately, in my life, I've seen a few people who tend to push people down. They want to be the one and the only one to have whatever X, Y, and Z. And that's not life. In life, you really have to collaborate. You have to help people. And I promise you, people are going to help you back. It's almost automatic. It will happen. Help them and they will help you back, or somebody else will help you back. In some way, somehow, whatever you are giving out, you are going to get it back, I believe, multiplied, right? So if you can help someone in need, please do. It's your duty. You absolutely have to. On your way to your own success, to your own goal, to your own dream, if you can help somebody, whether it's a smile or encouragement, please do that. It doesn't cost you anything. And you may be changing somebody's world. Because I remember what I went through when I didn't have anything at all and didn't even know what tomorrow would be like. Would I still have a place to stay? Would I even have food? For a little while, I don't like to think about it too much, but no, I was drinking water and eating bread. That's all the food I could afford. And God really brought me out of all of that. So I am so thankful for everything I have now because I know how good human beings can be, how generous they can be. That's why many times when I can, like even now, I'm still trying to raise money for a Navy family, a young man who lost uh, his wife and one of his children, and he had three other children. One of them was in rehab, and I believe she's okay now. But he's now a single father. He is enlisted, and that's just terrible. I mean, and this could happen to anybody. And what I'm asking people on my network is not to spend, $100,000, $10,000, or any of that. I'm just asking you to give $5. That's all I am asking. $5. That's it. But believe me, $5 can make a huge, huge difference. I've seen it in my life over and over and over again. I've raised money for Compassion International. I've raised money in my community. A few years back, there was a Hispanic kid that got shot in Gilroy. We raised more than $200,000 for them. We raised money for Ukraine when the war started back in February. Originally, we wanted to raise $1 million, but to raise more than $2 million. But most of it was a big, 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 huge donation. These people are giving $5, $10, $25, $100, very, very minuscule money that you remember, like, this is not going to make a big difference. I don't even want to give it. No, I'm asking you to give because what you are giving, whether it's not the cost of a Starbucks cup of coffee or a small pizza or whatever it is, you can really change the life of someone. I have about 42,000 people or so who follow me on LinkedIn. And if all of us gave $5 to this family, we're going to be able to raise $210,000. That is a lot of money. $5 is not, but $210,000 is, right? It's more than most people in America, almost four times more than most people in America make in a year. But that really could make a difference in somebody's life. So I just want to encourage you to keep your determination, be true to your vision. And if an opportunity comes, it doesn't look like what you want, I really want you to be very selective. Say, no, this is not for me. I'm going to pass on this because that's not where I want to go. I will not settle. I know exactly what I want and I'm going to go after it. Be determined, encourage yourself when you need to, and then never, never, never give up. So anybody else has a question for me on LinkedIn? All right. Thank you so much. That's really all I wanted to share with you. Hopefully, these 30 minutes or so I've encouraged you. I just want you to keep the vision in front of you and keep it clear and let that vision pull you into the future. And again, I believe success is not really about the destination, but it's about the journey. You getting to where you need to be, and while you are on that journey, helping the people around you as much as you can. Help the people who are going to join you and work with you, and be very selective who you are gonna spend a lot of your time with. You know, your peer group, I think, will have a huge impact on who you become. I am always seeking mentors, people who can teach me and show me things I don't know. Reading books, trying to learn something new. I think that really can make a big difference in your life as a leader. But even when you fall, you need to find the strength to get back up again. Just one more time. Just one more time. Get back up again. And if you fall again, just one more time. Get back up again. Get back up again. Never, never, never give up. And I believe eventually, you will get to your destination. All right. This is Coach Busy, and hopefully this has been a blessing to you. See you until next time. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to our channels and come back for more wisdom nuggets on how you may develop into a better leader and achieve greater levels of success. Leadership is the most critical skill. The world will always need leaders to lead others, deploy the next disruptive technology, or execute a business strategy. You may as well decide on counting yourself among the 21st century leaders. See you right here next time on the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ.